Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jamari Tansmore from Lake Forest College. You're listening to the Lake Forest Podcast.
Welcome to the Lake Forest Podcast, a podcast about the lovely city of Lake Forest, featuring topics like local news, sports, music, people, and food. My name is Pete, and I also live in Lake Forest. Hey, we got a sponsor for the show, Neuro Noodle. Hey, parents of athletes, it's playoff season time. If your kid gets knocked around, you better get a brain map so you got something to compare to in case, should he get back on the field or not. You know what I'm saying, Jamari? You got to keep that noodle together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Don't call me sir. I work for a living. Visit neuronoodle.com and schedule an appointment now. Okay, one of the things we like to do here at the Lake Forest Podcasts is to chat about our local peeps doing local good. We are joined today by Campbell Trophy finalist Jamari Tansmore from Lake Forest College, the Foresters. Jamari, thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah, Pete, thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is my first time ever being on the podcast, so I'm really excited. And when I saw your message,
kidding me?
No, Pete, I'm telling you the God honest truth. And when I saw your message today, I definitely, said, that would be very cool. And I couldn't pass up the opportunity. So once again, thank you for having me on the show and for all you do for Lake Forest.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, thank you for being a baller, man. You play ball on the field and off the field. Tell us about this award that you were up for.
So originally, I didn't really know much about the award at first, other than I've seen guys on my team also be considered finalists or semifinalists for the award as well in the past. But that's pretty much it. So shout out to my old teammate, John Colasacco, Forrester alum, Tom Steen. He also, I believe, was a nominee for the award as well. And just through my nomination, I've been able to learn more about it. And it's basically, it commemorates, the most elite scholar athletes in the country across all divisions of NCAA football, both Division 1, 2, and 3. So definitely, I'm very honored to be nominated and considered for the award. So.
Yeah, when I played ball, I don't think I was nominated for that. I think it only came out in 1990. Plus, I don't know if I was that much of a scholar back in the day like you. Hey, man, you're from Arizona. What are you doing all the way over here?
Yeah, well, a couple of things. First of all, Coach Cat just came and got me.
Okay.
Arizona football has a lot of talent out there that goes unrecognized because one thing that I really noticed from playing in Arizona and being from there is that there's a lot of good players, a lot of good talent, but often a lot of guys are undersized. And, when it's D1 colleges, basically as the only option out there, ASU, U of A, NAU, and no real, quote unquote, small ball options, speaking to, D2 and D3 schools. Yeah. A lot of guys get overlooked because they didn't pass the eye test. For me personally, you had to be 6'2 plus, 280 pounds plus to even get, spoken to by one of the D1 college coaches. And me, here I am, 5'9", 5'10", in Timberland boots and, 250 pounds. So I didn't really pass the eye test a lot of the D1 coaches. But nonetheless, I was a very talented player. And basically, Arizona has been, Coach Cat's feasting ground. Because, at this point, we have about 40 players on the team from Arizona, and that's won us a lot of football games. So I definitely wanted to give a shout out to Arizona football and just how we've been putting ourselves on the map, talent-wise and football-wise as a state as a whole. So,
got it. Hey, clue us in on the Foresters, man. How'd you guys do this year? What's the story?
So the Foresters right now, we're currently 6-0, 5-0 in conference play. So we're looking to keep that ball rolling. We have probably our toughest part of the schedule coming up here as we get into, conference championship contention and playoff contention. So we're really riding high right now, and we really want to keep that going into the playoffs.
Now, I've only lived in Lake Forest 3 years. I normally have my co-host on, Stu Walker. He's lived here 57 years. He's the voice of the Lake Forest High School Scouts, and he clues me in on what's going on. If I want to catch your game, like, where am I going? Clue me in. A lot of people move into the area, and they say, oh, man, we got a college here, and they got a 6-0 team. How do I go check them out? What's the story?
Definitely just come by the Lake Forest College and at Farwell Field. You know, it's right there on campus. Very easy, very accessible, and that's honestly, in my opinion, one of the advantages of playing at a smaller school is that, you know, everything is just right there. You know, and it's like not too far from downtown, not too far from the city. You just, you know, just up I think it's Illinois Road, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Just if you find your way to Farwell Field on a Saturday afternoon, you know, we'll be playing some good football out there. So definitely come out and support us. I really appreciate it.
All right. Now I'm hard of hearing, and you know, I got knocked around a little bit. My noodle is off. What's the remaining schedule? Who do you play next? When do I go to the field? You know, you gotta clue me in. I'm a fair weather fan. You guys are undefeated, so that checks the box. All right, I may have to check these guys out.
Of course. So our remaining schedule, we have 4 games left. We have Grinnell College this weekend on Saturday at home at Farwell Field. And then we have one of our big, tough conference opponents against Monmouth College the next week, away at Monmouth College. And the last 2 games will also be at home, the first of which being against Beloit College. And that's going to be Senior Day, where we're commemorating all the seniors and Parents' Day as well. And then the last game of the season, we'll wrap up against University of Chicago at home as well. And I believe they're all except the last one are 1 o'clock starts. And I believe that last one's a 12 noon start. So,
okay. Of those remaining games, which is going to be the toughest one, you think?
Obviously, you know, we're probably one of the top 3 teams in the conference, including, you know, Monmouth College and Chicago. So I'm really looking forward to both those games. But like we like to say in Lake Forest, man, our most important game, our toughest game is the next one we have. So we just got to make sure we take care of Grinnell this week and not look forward to anything and keep being who we are, you know. So.
All right. Well said. Coach is smiling. You got it. You were born at night, but not last night. I understand. Yeah. So, man, you're pretty smart. What are you studying?
So I am a economics and data science double major, and within data science, there's 3 tracks at the college. That's more my focal major. There's finance, there's computer science, and there's statistics. And statistics is my concentration. And that's basically kind of where my interests lie, in mostly because like I'm you know, always been very good in my numbers, very good, and a pretty good math student coming up. So I really didn't know I had a big interest in numbers, in math, in data, you know, in stats until, you know, I got here and started taking a couple of econ classes. And the way data drives, you know, a lot of the things that explain our economy, you know, that's kind of what got me hooked onto data, as well as, you know, econ when it comes to, you know, how data explains public policy and things of that nature. So, and those are basically where my interests lie academically.
Got it. Okay. So when do you graduate?
I'm planning on graduating this spring, 2022, May 2022.
Okay. And, you know, we got a few business owners in town, you know, CEOs, a lot of C-level people. What kind of company are you thinking about working for? Or they already give you offers already?
You're not at that point yet. I'm still in the networking process, you know, putting my resume in, you know, shaking hands, kissing babies and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just making sure, you know, I'm doing my due diligence on that. But as far as, you know, I don't really believe in a dream job, because I don't think your job is a dream job until you actually started working it. So, but if I had to answer that question as to, you know, what kind of company I would like to, you know, be a part of, I would say, you know, since I'm a big football guy, it would be really cool to, you know, do data analytics within the sports industry somewhere. I've, you know, had a couple informational interviews with companies like Stats Perform and out of Chicago and other companies that specifically deal with, you know, sports data. So that's definitely an interest of mine, but it's not, you know, I'm not really hell bent on just, you know, sports industry. I can definitely, you know, venture out into other industries as well. So.
You got an open mind.
Definitely.
All right. So maybe it used to be Stats Incorporated. I don't even know what the company is anymore, but there's a game played in numbers. So you're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Okay. Now, where do you hang out in town, man? You're always studying, of course, but you know, if I happen to be walking down the street, where would I bump into Jamari at?
Well, That's kind of a tough question to, answer, because it's like, it's not really just Lake Forest as the hangout spots. It's definitely, we go a lot of times to Vernon Hills, which is the closest, movie theater, mall, and a lot of, eating
Right.
places out there as well. And just other, surrounding neighborhoods and surrounding cities that, are in Lake County as well. I kind of venture out kind of everywhere, wherever the best food spots are, best spots to hang out. Obviously, Forest Park Beach is a big hangout spot for me.
Okay.
Chiefs Pub, definitely, go down there to watch the game and stuff like that.
Chiefs, yeah.
And obviously, it helps that the train station is right there. So, really, when it comes to, going to Chicago and back, the world is pretty much our oyster. We can just go and do whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
But as far as Lake Forest, definitely the Forest Park Beach, definitely Chiefs Pub,
Right.
Sweets,
Oh, yeah.
Sweet shop over there. Definitely.
Stu over there.
Ferentino's Pizza, very, very good over there. There's a lot of spots I go to around Lake Forest, get my good feeling. So
got it. So Arizona, get about 40 kids from there. How did Coach find Arizona? Is he from there? What's his background?
That's actually a question that, probably is for Coach Cat, because I honestly don't know. Because that he's been recruiting Arizona far, before I even existed in his mind. And that's why I really want to, like I said, give a big shout out to Arizona football, what they've been doing as far as putting themselves on the map, because we're not quite Texas or Florida or California yet, but we're really getting up there. And Coach Cat probably would hate me for saying this, but, if you're a college coach recruiter, definitely get down to Arizona and get you some guys, because they can really win some games for you, because, I think Coach Cat wants Arizona to be his best kept secret, but unfortunately, Arizona football isn't a secret anymore. So there's a lot of talented kids out there. And also shout out to my high school, where I played high school football at Chandler, Arizona, Chandler High School. Definitely, Pete, if you got a chance to do some research and some homework on Chandler football, do that, because that's a second to none program. And pretty much football-wise, life-wise, academic-wise, I wouldn't be who I am where I am today without, the influence I got from there. Coach Aguano, who's currently the running backs coach at Arizona State, the current head coach, Coach Garrettson, my old D-line coach, Coach Hawthorne. Just shout out to all those guys, molding me and sharpening me to who I am today. So real good football, championship football being played all around in Arizona. And that's pretty much, I think that's what brought Coach Cat to Arizona. All the talent that's there that people just skip over and just miss, and you think they just, I feel like all the other D1 schools, they're crazy for, passing over some of these guys. And it's funny because a lot of my peers back home, they would get offers from other places before, ASU, U of A, NAU. Our quarterback, I believe he got an offer from Alabama before ASU. So, and that just speaks to, how the recruiting is back home. But the more the merrier. And it's all good for Coach Cat, because he can go over there and clean house whenever he wants to.
So how does it work at your level? Okay, I was a 1AA guy. Now it's football subdivision, whatever it's called, in Southern Illinois. You got 5 visits. They flew you out or whatever. How did it work at your level? Did you have to pay your own way? Did they cover it? How does that work?
Yeah, so I did pay my own way to visit. First, so Coach Cat came and met me and met my parents. He comes to Arizona 4 times a year recruiting, which tells you how important the state is for him. Rightfully so. And then after that, we set up a visit. Obviously, I had to pay my way for a visit to fly up there. But once I got there, everything was all, expense paid to me. They kept me. Shout out to my old teammate, Matt Leonard. He's the one that hosted me, on my visit. And that's how they do it here. They don't put you in, hotels or anything. They put you out with the football players right in the dorm rooms. That's one of the things I really love about, college visits and stuff like that, is that you really get an authentic sense of what Lake Forest is, because you're literally, there with the guys, with the players, and at the school. So other than that, food, all the tours, all that kind of stuff, they took good care of me. So I love the culture there, good school, good football, great people. And it was just the best fit for me. So And a lot of that came from that visit. So I definitely am appreciative of that.
Okay, so somebody wants to check out Lake Forest College or think about playing ball there. I mean, tell Coach Cat, hey, Big Pete wants to have him on the show, help him recruit. You know what I mean?
Of course, definitely. And if he can, I bet you if he can find the time, he'll be more than happy to get on here.
Oh yeah, he's busy.
Yeah.
He's busy. I understand. But when it comes recruiting time, when he puts his sales hat on, you know, I'm here for him. All right. So if I go to the field now, what's going on at the field? They got any food over there? You know, what's it like over there for the fan? I know you're on the field, but I'm sure you look up.
It's kind of a tough question for me to answer because we focus on the game from start to finish. We do have a funny story of a player one time, leaving halftime to go get a hot dog. He got in real big trouble for that, but I'm not gonna name any names. But if he hears it, he knows who it is. And that was hilarious hearing that story. But they obviously have concessions and stuff, and they have the Forrester Fanatics program where you can be a part of basically you can call yourself a Forrester fanatic. You can have your clothes, they can have your merchandise, all the memorabilia, stuff like that, all those kind of mementos for Lake Forest that can really prepare you for game day and stuff like that. And I think they also have a tailgating crew where you can be on a list and have your own tailgate spot before the games. And one thing I definitely say about I don't know too much about during the game, but sometimes they have, old jerseys, just things on sale that you can, wear and support as your gear. But definitely before and after the game, the tailgate is definitely the scene for Lake Forest College game days. Before the game, big tailgate, all the fans, parents, families, and all that. They're out there grilling, barbecuing, doing their thing, having a good time before the game. And then, we go through on our Forrester Walk, right in the middle of them. And it's a real good time because they get hyped seeing us and they start, giving us fist bumps and, screaming and beating on the, big drum and stuff like that. It's real electric. And then after the game, they have, they still have an extended tailgate to where the players can come and, get something to eat, after the game. And they feed us really well, hot dogs, burgers, you name it, mac and cheese, all that kind of stuff, chips, Gatorade, all that kind of stuff where they basically extend the tailgate for after the game. So, players can really dive in and get something to eat. And that really was important for me my first couple of years because me being from Arizona, I can count on, one hand how many times, my family was able to come to a game. So having that after the game was very important for me as far as, just feeling that family atmosphere, while my family isn't able to be here right now, the people that were there definitely took me in as one of their own and, made sure I was well taken care of as if I was one of their kids. So, and that's a really important aspect here at Lake Forest College is the family culture over everything. So I really appreciate that as well.
Now, the big question, COVID, man, what happened in 2020, man? What was that, your junior year?
Yeah, that was my junior year. It was just like everything else, everyone else will say, it was very long, very hard, and a very painstaking thing to go through. And especially for D3 football players. Yeah. And any football player who got their season taken away, you know what I'm saying? But for me, the silver lining in it is the fact that I was able to stay home, and be with my family because going into the summer before my junior year, I wasn't planning on going back home for the summer. I was going to probably try to get an internship and stay on campus. So I wouldn't have seen my family until December that year. So actually spending that extra time with them was very nice. But just watching football on Saturdays, just knowing, oh man, I could be out there playing too. And then my high school, they still had their season, so I was at their games and stuff like that, and just you try hard not to get jealous, but as a football player, you definitely get jealous. It's like we had a really good thing going. After my sophomore year, we were really primed for a really big season that junior year, and to have COVID kind of take it away, it was very tough. And also I lost, me personally, I lost a lot of strength over the COVID because obviously with the gyms and stuff being closed down, I wasn't able to, maintain my strength as I would have liked to have done. And then once we got back and played for the spring, you saw that in my play. You saw I wasn't as strong, as I normally had been. But luckily, one off season with Coach Cat, and the guys definitely took care of that and got my strength back. So, but yeah, overall, COVID was definitely tough for all of us. We were trying hard to just, virtually, stay together and stay connected with, certain, activities we do as teams, meetings we have as teams, just to make sure we're all still together. And obviously, we lost some guys, to basically to COVID, as far as guys not coming back and returning and stuff like that. But which is understandable. But I feel like, our relationship as a team and our family culture is actually made stronger because of what we were doing over the COVID period, just everybody missing everybody and stuff like that. So it was very tough, but we got through it.
So you wiped out the entire year. You went back home and that was it, right? Just Zoom meetings and okay.
Yes. It was from March to, I'll say, January when we got back for that next spring semester. So I would say 10 to 11 months, and through the whole football season. So
then when did summer camp start?
Summer camp starts in I believe August 10th this year, and we summer camp. Honestly, it wasn't. And it's crazy because a lot of colleges, they have like month-long summer camps or maybe 2 months.
Yeah.
Our summer camp literally is only like 3 weeks. It's literally from the day the players get on campus to kick off game one. It's about 3 weeks and some change that go by. But it seems like an eternity because obviously it's it's just practice, meetings, meals, and repeat.
Yeah.
So, but it's actually one of the better times of the year for us because we get to focus strictly on being football players and strictly on establishing who we are and getting better and stuff like that. So,
oh man, 3 weeks coming back that year off. What was the testing like? What you don't have to give away any secrets, but they do like a mile run or like what do they make you do?
We definitely do have a conditioning test upon arrival to see if guys have been putting in work. And they did that every year. But the thing that was different about us this year is that we actually had a spring season, so it wasn't like we were fully a whole year and some change removed. We had another spring season where we won 3 games and had a little season there to be able to just polish ourselves and make sure we are keeping everything up to code as far as football goes. But yeah, we definitely do have a training camp conditioning test that we do every single year, and that test definitely will make a man out of you, or a child. Which
come on, clue us in. What's the test? What's the test?
It's not really nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy, but it feels like when you're running it. It's a 300-yard shuttle. Okay. But you hear it's 2 300-yard shuttles, right? And you hear that, and it's like, okay, that's a lot of running, but it's not that bad. So basically, it's 650 down and back, basically. So down 50, back 50 3 times, and that's your 300 yards. But the thing that makes it hard is not the first one; it's the second one because you don't get but all you get is a minute rest until the second one, and you still have the same time to pass that second one after just having ran the first one, and that's where you get that's where the test really starts making a man out of you because that first one, the first one's a breeze, it's like okay, it's a lot of running, but you start huffing and puffing, and it's like it seems like okay, we get a minute break, and then the moment you look up, 20 seconds go by, he's blowing the whistle. Wow, that was already a minute, and then it's just like. Hey, you're back out there going. So that's what our conditioning test is, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. We've definitely lost some guys to that. So,
So the O-linemen, they're a special kind of crew. D-line, that's all the smart guys were on the O-line. The D-line had all the good athletes and whatnot. I could speak. I was on the O-line. What are some of the traditions some of the linemen do over there?
Well, so we got our O-linemen. I call them the Hogs. Just commemorating the 1980s Redskins. Dominant offensive line. So they're rolling. They have this little thing they do what they call O-line. They say, "Oh yeah," you know what I'm saying, and that's how they get it. That's how they get themselves going. And D-line, we just call ourselves the trench dogs. That's what we
Okay.
are. And then overall lineman, we're just a bunch of guys that like to get after it. We get after each other every day in practice, and we love, beating up on people on Saturday. So
And getting after the books too, man.
Definitely.
How do you mix the two? Because I definitely didn't do that. I'm like, oh man. After camp, triples, and then practice, I'm like, I'm going to bed.
And I definitely, kind of rephrase your question. How do you mix the two? It feels like 3, 4, 5, and 6 sometimes. Because it's like it's not only football and school, but it's organizations and other things that you may involve yourself in. And the organization part, that's kind of on you, depending on how involved you want to get on campus. But really, it's I always tell people there's never really a how to. Because you never really have time to think about how to do that. It's just, you just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really can't explain, that answer. It's just, that's what I've always done. But one thing I will say, definitely getting on stuff early, just like in our football games, getting on a team, jumping on them early and decisively, making sure we do that. We have that same approach in our studies. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure we take care of things early. Don't wait till the last minute, have good, time management skills, and you'll be fine. 24 hours may not seem like enough time, but I promise you it is. So, when it comes to practice, film study, and school, and all other stuff, if you just make sure you get on top of things right now and don't delay and don't procrastinate and don't wait on things, that's when, you'll find success. So that's basically how you juggle it. Just when you have some, on your plate, just eat it right then and there. Don't let it sit for a while and let your plate pile up over and over, and let it just compile.
So you're going to host some recruits when they come on. What are you going to tell those recruits that you wish somebody would have told you before when you came on? What's your advice going to be?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. You kind of stumped me on that one.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah. So one thing I'll say, and this was my Arizona guys, because usually that's who I get. Whenever I'm hosting recruit visits, that's what I get. I tell them, and obviously you don't really have to tell them this because they're there during the visit, but definitely prepare yourself for a long winter.
It's
prepare
cold.
yourself. It is cold up here, and like I said, I don't have to tell them that because during the visits are normally in January, in February, and in March, stuff like that. So it's cold at that time, but they're only getting, a couple of days of it. But I can't stress enough, definitely get your coat, get your jackets, your boots, all that kind of stuff. If you have a car here, get all the necessary things you need, scrapers, windshield coverage, all that kind of thing. It's because the winters are long and they're very cold. Because my first winter, was the polar vortex of 2018. So, and that and me coming, like you said, me coming from Arizona, going straight to that was just, like, wow, that was really a shell shock for me. And it's a funny story. A funny story behind.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say, did you ever see snow before?
Oh no, I have seen snow. It does.
Okay.
It does snow in Arizona in the high county, not in the valley where I'm from, but in the higher elevation it does.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing like the Midwest. And it's like a funny story about the polar vortex is I walk outside and they obviously had those snow days to where they wouldn't have class, but when we still have to go to the calf and eat, so I had to still walk outside and go eat. So I'm putting on all these different layers and bundles and stuff like that of clothes and everything, and then the only thing that wouldn't be covered was my nose. So, while I'm walking to the cab, it's so cold out there. It feels like, my nose has boogers in it. But really, it's really just all the moisture in your nose being frozen over instantly. And then as soon as you walk inside, your nose gets clear. And it's like, where those boogers go? You know what I'm saying?
You got a runny nose,
so, yeah. But that was definitely a shock for me. But the silver lining in that is that, that was still to date the worst winter I've ever experienced. And even though, it gets cold every year. That was a record-breaking winter, so it's not going to get. I don't believe it'll get that cold again. So, like this coming, when it's going to be cold, but I've seen the worst. So, and I'm prepared for it. So that'll definitely be the thing I tell recruits is prepare for a long winter, and just it's going to suck, but just embrace it because you can do that. That's what the Midwest is. So.
Embrace the suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from here, and yeah, that was a cold one, man. Even I was cold.
Exactly.
Now, a couple more questions. I'll let you get back to the books. You guys get any JUCOs, any junior colleges come through at that level, or how does that work? Because when you went
back home Arizona.
Arizona and here.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar about the junior college or community college scene out here, but in Arizona, that basically, for a long time, JUCO was the lifeline for a lot of those players. Going back to what I was talking about with players not being under recruited, JUCO was basically their second chance to finally get that look from the college coach they wanted. And unfortunately, in the past 5 or 6 years or so, JUCO football in Arizona, due to funding and some other things, have kind of been dismantled.
Yeah.
And there's obviously other things that's at play when it comes to those things that I'm not truly fully aware of. But all in all, JUCO football basically was stopped, and a lot of those kids basically got robbed of that opportunity to just to show what they can do.
Yeah.
But they seem like they're back on the mend at this point. They're trying to get some JUCO football team back up and running in Arizona. Shout out to Coach Mike Denny. He was a coach on Chandler football's coaching staff. He's become the head coach of the Gila River Hogs. They're one of the JUCO teams that really are doing a great job getting guys out there, getting guys names out there, to be able to play at the next level. So I love what they're doing, trying to bring JUCO football back to Arizona. And I just want to encourage them to keep on going with that. So,
well, everybody's seen Last Chance U, and they don't do football anymore. So, you got your Alabamas, and then you got your Last Chance U, somewhere in between. If you can fall into there and play some ball, get your school paid for, more power to you.
Exactly.
Any of the Forresters go on to the next level we want to give a shout out to, even Europe or anything?
Yes, we got a couple guys on the team who are going to go out for pro days, and I believe they're definitely, that's actually big news for Lake Forest, because it's not that doesn't happen very often.
Right.
But I believe our punter Logan Person, keep him on the radar. Watch out for him. Keep him on the radar. He's leading the conference. He's having us lead the conference in punting right now. His punting numbers are totally insane, and he's definitely going to go to Northwestern for the pro day once he's done playing here, to try to see what he can do at the next level. And I think he's totally capable of doing that. And I believe our wide receiver, AJ Jackson, he also is going to take a crack at a pro day as well. And I also believe he's more than capable of making strides at the next level as well. So definitely want to keep encouraging those guys and lifting those guys up through that journey as well, because I believe they can do some real good things at the next level and play some good football. So.
Well, you tell Logan and AJ, man, I want to talk to them. All right.
Awesome, definitely, and they'd be more than happy to be on the show as well. So,
absolutely.
I'll let them know.
All right, fantastic. Jamari, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much, Pete, once again for having me. Like I said, my first podcast ever. I'm not really a big podcast guy. It's just my first time being on it, so definitely, it was cool talking to you today. So I appreciate you and all you do. So thank you.
Oh man, you're a pro. You're a pro. Thanks for listening to the Lake Forest Podcast. Please give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and smash that like button on Facebook, Instagram, and follow us on Twitter. Let us know what you'd like to hear about in the upcoming shows. Again, I'm Pete, and I can be reached at pete@lakeforestpodcast.com. The link will be in the podcast notes below. On behalf of my co-host, Scoot Walker, we thank you for listening, and we thank our Patreon supporters, Church of the Holy Spirit and Reverend Luke Back and Matt A. Cue the band.